Well, welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2004 here in TEW 2020 as it's night after Bash at the Beach, and it's time for the first post Bash at the Beach Nitro. But first, before we go with that, again, just a reminder, I might have to do this for a little longer than just July to get some more votes in, but you still have the mid-year awards in. I want some more vote before I go through with it. But again, rest of the mid-year: Booker, Eddy Guerrero, Jeff Jarrett, Rob Van Dam, Shane Helms. Face of the Year: AJ Styles, Goldberg, Ric Flair, RVD, Ed O'Hare. Heel of the Mid-Year: Booker, Jeff Jarrett, Keenan Sharp, Nikita Colt, and Shane Helms. And Moment of the Year, we've got Los Guerreros and Ray Jr. celebrating with Mexican crowd at Arena Mexico. The night after Showdown in the Sun, Jared Nargos jumping Clarence Canyon, ending the Horsemen as a four-man unit. Mark Jindrak and Ray Bordy forming the chosen few with Jeff Jarrett. Macias and Morningstar turning on Vampiro. Booker winning the World Championship from Eddie, and Jamie Noble shockingly defeating Eddy Guerrero. For the tag team of the mid-year, we've got Alex Wright and Jeff Guerrero, Jason Jett and Paul London, the Roman Legionnaires, and the Silver City Rollers. For women's wrestler of the mid-year, we've got Angel Fox, Celine Cartier, Gail Kim, and Nikita Colt. And for character of the mid-year, we've got Angel Fox, Silver Skin Scarlet, Booker T, six-time world champion, Jamie Noble, cocky heel prick, Keenan Sharp walking his own self-deluded path, and Sean O'Hare, our defiant babyface. And we got a whole bunch of matches for match of the year. So, but now it's on to the show. So I'll be back in just a second. Alright, so we start off Nitro, live from the Nashville Auditorium, in front of a sold-out crowd of 15,000, with our Bash at the Beach highlights video, focusing on the Horsemen, the team of Malenko, Kenny, Flair losing to the chosen few, Sean O'Hare and Macias having an absolute war, and of course Booker T successfully defending the world title, defeating Rob Van Dam. And this goes in 82 as our opening video, and then the actual show starts out with the chosen few's music, what's the word I'm looking for here? That familiar, twang of Jarrett's old music as he comes out with Mark Jindrak and Simply Johnny Devine. And he, cuts a promo to get the friggin' 95. God, Jarrett's good. Yeah, I did not rate Jindrak and Johnny Devine, but they're there, looking like the cocky old bastards that they are. And Jarrett says, well, Slapnuts, I told you. For the past few months, I've been telling you, the Horsemen are a spent force, that the future is right here with the chosen few. And you doubted me. You thought I was just speaking BS. But right there, in the ring last night, you saw the truth. You saw the truth that the truth is the future is men like Simply Johnny Devine, the future of the Cruiserweight division. Men like Mark Jindrak, a great television champion, and me, the chosen one. The man who will lead WCW in the future on my own terms and nobody else's. Because you see, what you saw last night was not the end of the Horsemen, but the beginning of the elite force in professional wrestling today. We are the chosen few, and no matter who wants to stop in front of us, we will not be stopped. Big heel pop for that, as our chosen few walk back, and this gets a 95, like I said, because Jarrett's real damn good. And then and that's just for the fact that after last night's match when Jeff Hardy and Billy Kidman, Hardy talked to WCW officials, and tonight it'll be Billy Kidman and Lance Storm versus Jeff Hardy and a partner of his choice in our big tag team main event. That little graphic is at 69, and then we move on to our next match, our next segment, which is, So, come back to commercial, Evan Courageous is in the ring. Some rip-off of the Dudley's old theme music hits, and out comes Brother Ray to a decent pop as this gets a 62, and it's time for Brother Ray's debut here in WCW. Forward. As an extremely short match, Brother Ray just destroys Evan Courageous in 420, by pinfall, full Allison bomb. This gets a 45, which is unfortunate, but, Brother Ray gets a 73, Evan Courageous gets a 33, and Brother Ray Evan Courageous gets a little bit of offense in, but at the end of the day, Brother Ray is Brother Ray, and Evan Courageous is Evan Courageous, and he just ends up, getting a few big moves, power slam, lariat, full Nelson bomb, 1, 2, 3. And then Ray takes the mic and says, my whole career has been about one thing: violence. Whether it was in Philadelphia, putting people through fading tables, thumbtacks, whether they were my brothers from another mother, or weirdos like me, or weirdos and freaks. But I've come here to World Championship for one reason. It's not to battle, not to put people through tables, it's not to put the people through thumbtacks, not to put people with chairs, even though I'll still do that for damn sure. I've come here to do one thing, and that's on my own, prove my worth. I'm a fighter. I've always been a fighter all my life, and WCW and everybody in it is about to be shown why. 73, decent promo from Brother Ray as we move forward. As we go backstage, where Jeremy Borash is with our heel women's trio of Lizzy Dumas, who debuted last night at Bash at the Beach, Angel Fox, and Lexia James. Borash basically asks for an explanation, and Lizzy steps forward and says, as there's some probably less than PC crowd chants because it's 2004. Lizzy's just been for the last year, Triple H's girlfriend after being revealed as cheating on Stephanie. So she probably gets some very big hate, and she just waits for Malenko to title and says, yeah, go on, whatever you say, I'm my own woman now. And here's reality. What you saw last night was what happens when we women work together and go against those who the powerful want to choose to put in at the top of things. You see, I saw the last couple of weeks that Angel and Lexi were being manipulated by Trisha Sky, because that's what Trisha does. And she was trying her best. They were trying their best, but they're not on the same page. So I reached out to them and I let them know they had to work together if they were going to beat Trisha and whatever little girl she brought up as her partner. You see, together, we are a top unit in women's wrestling today. Lexi AT, Angel Popular, Angel Snap, and the true star of this business, and me. You know who I am. You know what I've done. It doesn't matter what you think of us, because we're going to take your pretty little favorites and kick their teeth in. And Angel lets Lexi walk away with sneers on their faces and decent little peel promo from the heels as this gets to 65. Then we go backstage as we see Tank Tolan once again trying to hit on various women. First, he walks up to Emi Sakura, and Emi just sort of looks blankly at him and says something in Japanese. He walks over to Miss Jones, who's back on Nitro for the first time in probably forever, and she looks over him and says, "Well, maybe another time. I'm busy." Then he walks, and then he walks through the locker room, past some other wrestlers, and he finds some blonde who as in real life as Goldilocks from TNA, but is just not in wrestling yet here, as TNA doesn't exist. And he says, "How would you like to have a night with the sexiest man in WCW?" And she looks back at him and says, "Sure, why not? Let's party." And they walk off together. As it gets to 41, and basically just puts Tank Tolan over. And then we have our big four-way match as the announcers put over that WCW officials have chosen to try to determine the next number one contender for the United States title after Tajiri got his big win over King Sharp in a series of qualifying matches, which will start tonight on Nitro. So we have this match between Teddy Hart, Sabu, Kaz, and Romeo. As in a decent match, Kaz defeated Teddy Hart, Sabu, and Romeo in 8:13 when Kaz pinned Teddy Hart. So as you can imagine, this is just everybody flying around. Sabu does his Arabian presses, Teddy Hart does his Teddy Hart things, Romeo comes and does some high flying moves, maybe quick suplexes, Kaz kicks the shit out of people. But the end is basically Sabu, hits the triple jump moonsault on Romeo to the outside, but they just continue fighting to the outside. That gets Taz, that gives Teddy Hart sorry, I lost my train of thought there. That distracts Teddy Hart just long enough for Kaz to basically just kick him right in the head. 1, 2, 3, Kaz gets the big one. That's to 63, decent little stuff. Sabu sustained a reverberating bicep. I think that's just a work through it injury. Teddy Hart gets a 73, Sabu gets a 42, Kaz gets a 75, and Romeo gets a 41. Yep, I saw that. And post-match, Sabu continues to brawl with Romeo, then Swinger comes out, and then out comes Sandman, and this gets a 38, as this little undercard feud just continues. After that, we have Kidman Storm backstage, as Kidman puts over the fact that, last night I showed without a doubt, once again, I'm the best cruiserweight of my era, and it's time to move forward in my life and my career. But Jeff Hardy, the weirdo, whacked out guy that he is, thinks he still has a chance against me. Well, tonight, you're going to be reminded, Hardy, why me and Storm could have ruled the tag team title division for as long as we wanted, but we chose to step away. And you're going to be shown why the triumvirate are the greatest group in professional wrestling. Because guess what? Mikey's coming back soon enough, and when he's back, there'll be nothing that can stop us, no matter who your tag partner is tonight. 80, decent little part from Kidman as we move forward. And then we go backstage where Ken Anderson is just backstage talking to various, backstage official people. But out of nowhere, Sean Stasiak comes up to him and basically says, "Look, kid, you think just because you come here, you can do anything you want in WCW. Well, I've been here for years. I deserve a shot. I'm not going to let some punk kid get a hold of me. Ken's like, Sean, you're like a couple years older than me, maybe. But if you want to fight, we can have a fight on Revolution. Sean's like, fine. I'll show you that I'll show you that you're just still a young punk kid. Sean walks away, and Ken's like, he is on, like, he's not that much older than, like, I saw like a random ref. He isn't that much older, right? As it gets to 60, fun little segment, and yeah, sets up, gets Sean back on TV, and puts over Ken as having a match on Revolution. And yeah, Ken's a babyface, honestly, because I need some baby faces, and he's not a bad babyface. And then, oh my god, I'm a moron. Holy shit. I can't believe I did that. Well, at least it wasn't that bad of a segment. Okay, so as you can see, this should have been Shane Helms. I put it in as Shannon Moore because I'm a moron. So this did not get quite the high rating it should have. But hey, shit happens. Anyway, Shane Helms comes out and he says, welcome to the Shane Helms show with Shane Helms starring Shane Helms. And let me bring out, unfortunately, my guest for tonight. And then Viva Guerrero hits it to a big pop as Eddie, Chavo, and Alfred all come down to the ringside. And there's this quick standoff between everybody, but Gigantes is back there. And Shane Helms says, I want to start off by saying there's going to be no fighting on my show. Now, of course, as the greatest champion of all time, I could kick all your asses, even with one hand. Still hurt. But you guys have a match against Gigantes and the best tag team in the business, Snipe Reno and Cash later tonight. I want that you at 100%, so you have no excuses when they show you that you're going to have no shot at those tag titles, and Eddie, that you should have stayed away. And Eddie basically takes the mic and says, Holmes, thanks for the warm welcome, but you have to understand something. I'm back. I'm here to help my cousin and his friend rise to the top in WCW. Last night, I showed that you don't mess with the Guerreros and don't expect us to mess back. Because we'll lie, we'll cheat, we'll steal to get that victory, no matter what. And Shane will basically say, see, you're a hypocrite. People and all these fans are because they cheer people like you and they boo people like me just because I tell them the truth. And Chavo takes mine from Shane says, no, they boo you because you're an asshole, Shane. Big pop. Then Shane takes mine and says, he notices Alex and I'm like, look, Alex, you're some rules following guy. Are you really that happy that everybody knows that Noble and Ebony would have kicked your ass last night if Uncle Eddie would have come in and saved his little nephew and his little friend? Alex says, look, I think I know we could have won that match even without Eddie's help, but I appreciate it because, of course, they were taking advantage and getting away outside the rules. But tonight, we're together. We're going to show you, Shane, and your buddies why me and Chavo are the next tag team champions and why Eddie is one of the best wrestlers in the world. So don't try to get in between us. And well, we'll just have to see about that. And just a reminder, Eddie, I was a better US champion than you. And he just sort of sneers and says, Core Family Value says I should kick your ass, but I'll get in trouble. And I can't get in trouble again quite yet. But I will do this. And he then slaps the mic out of his hands and the Guerreros and I'll try to walk away. 74, probably could have been 80. But unfortunately, stuff happens. So then we go backstage where Jeremy Borash is in front of basically is basically backstage, and he has an update on O'Hare Macias after last night, where basically puts over the fact that O'Hare is still in a medical facility getting treatments for his injuries, but WCW officials were not able to talk Morningstar and allowing Macias to go to the hospital, and he has not been seen alongside with Morningstar since the pay-per-view. 64 just putting over why neither O'Hare or Macias Morningstar tonight, and putting over the big, Death and Darkness match from last night. And then in About That Power Wrestling and Little Heat, European Disunion defeated Slim Cartier and Jordan Cole in 6-12, 8-12, and when he's seen abuse 6, submitted Jordan Cole. 62, decent little tag match as the women's division, continues to build up back and forth. But in the end, this is a clean victory. Obviously the heels do a little bit of quick tags and staying in long enough. But they just break down Cole and Trapper, and eventually Piece gets her a random European submission. And with nowhere to go, Cole has to submit. Colt gets a 64, Piece gets a 45, Cole gets a 49, and Cartier gets a 55. And post-match, European Disunion celebrates to a heel pop from the crowd at a 63. And then we go backstage where Lexi's getting slightly better. Anyway, Jeremy Ratches with Elix Skipper, and he puts over the fact that he defeated Cody Casino right in the middle of the damn ring. Like people said I couldn't, but I proved why I am the best cruiserweight in the business today. And look, I am better. I'm proving day by day why I'm the best cruiserweight champion of all time. Paul London, I'll kick his ass. Jason Jett, I'll kick his ass. Ray Jr., if he wants to stop crying to himself, I'll kick his ass. AJ Styles, I already beat his ass because I am a superstar. I am a great wrestler. I am a human higher leg reel, and I'm a cruiserweight champion for a damn reason. And then Skipper walks away. Decent promo as he gets 61, and yeah, obviously, honestly, I just want to get for some TV time. So fun stuff as we go forward. And yes, it's time for our semi-main event, as Eddie Both had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. Alex Wright and Los Guerreros defeat Helms and Company, Reno Cash Gigantes in 14:37 when Eddy Guerrero pinned Gigantes, says after using foreign object. So this gets an 84 overall, so back and forth, which you expect. Wright does some suplexes, lariats, big drop kicks, Chavo does his Chavo stuff, Eddie comes in, does some brawling, Gigantes his power spots, Reno and Cash work well together, but in the end, what happens is, all four of the tag teams brawl to the outside. Ref is trying to get advantage of them. Chavo, chairs off to ringside. Eddie brains Gigantes with it, goes up top, frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Big win for Eddy Guerrero. As this gets an 84 overall, like I said. Eddie gets a 87, Chavo gets a 65, Alex Wright gets a 71, Gigantes gets a 65, Cash gets a 78, and Reno gets a 74. So fun stuff, as I said, this gets an 84 overall. And the babyfaces celebrate, but Wright again looks askance at Eddie as he basically holds the chair up as the crowd does pop mostly, but there is still a mixed reaction. Chavo puts his hand on Wright's shoulder, whispers something in his ear, and then Wright goes over and stands alongside Eddie. It looks like Eddie is coming back more vicious and with a mean streak after a few months off here in WCW after losing to JB Noble. He looks like he's a man on a mission. Like I said, this gets 74, so we move forward. And we go to our next video for another newcomer coming to WCW. It's Prince Jose, and now instead of being on the streets of Ghana in his palace, he's now on a private plane. He says, "Yes, I understand. It is shocking to many of you in the audience that a man from me, like Africa, can have a private plane that's bigger and more expensive than anything you'll be able to afford in your whole lives. But you have to understand, I am the elite of Africa. My family has more gold than you could have imagined. And it would be disgusting and an insult to my heritage to fly on a normal plane with the rest of my subjects. But I have to get on this plane to fly to America, to become part of World Championship Wrestling and prove and show you what a true royalty is all about." 50 decent little promo as Jose is getting more over, as fun stuff. And then before main event, heels come out, and then Jeff Hardy comes out, and after a moment, out comes Canyon. Pop for that, as this gets 71, and it's time for our main event. As well had superb wrestling and great heat. Billy Kidman and Lance Storm defeats Canyon and Jeff Hardy in 17-13 when Billy Kidman pinned Canyon. It says after a royal interfered, so this gets an 85 overall. So again, back and forth match, what you expect from all four of these guys. Storm and Hardy do some fun, technical / brawling / suplexes. Kidman and Canyon hook up and fight a little bit back and forth. Some fun spots. Canyon hits a cannon cutter and Lance Storm. Kidman makes a save. Kidman actually hits the kick crusher on Hardy, but Canyon makes a save. Hardy sends Storm to the outside, hits a big flip dive on him, then runs the guardrails and nails him. But then as things are breaking down, April Hunter gets involved just enough so Canyon's going over to a distractor. Low blow by Kidman. Small package, holds the tights, 1, 2, 3, and Kidman gets a huge victory over Canyon as a heel pop, as this gets an 85. Jeff Hardy gets a 90, Canyon gets a 92, Lance Storm gets an 81, and Billy Kidman gets an 87. And overall, the show gets an 86. So we'll see what Raw did, and then we'll be over to a big show, next Revolution, as we continue the road on to our next pay-per-view. As this loads. Alright, let's see what Raw did first, real quick. So we had Shawn Michaels defeated Raw Run by DQ in 89. We had Kurt Angle defeating Nick Dinsmore. Steven Richards defeated Kevin Nash in 80. Vampiro, Chris Jericho, and Chris Benoit. That's a team. Defeated Rikishi and EDP and Orton in a 90. Interesting. Steve Austin and defeated Billy Gunn by DQ in a 96. And Edge and Triple H defeated Big Show and The Undertaker in a 99. So interesting. On the undercard, we got Devon Dudley defeating Grandmaster Sexy and Outlaws defeating X Factor. Fun stuff. And just as a case, let's see here. What did OVW do? Okay, so pre-show, anything of interest. Logan Kane defeated John Morrison. Riptide defeated Bloody Phoenix. Chrissy Ricci defeated Jamie Keys, retaining the Divas title. Lizzie Borden defeated Miss Natural in 53. Homicide and Spanky defeated Silent Solution, which is Barry Buchanan Damaja, okay, to retain the Southern title, 65. And Justice defeated Rico Constantino to retain the OVW title. You notice somebody's not the OVW champion anymore, and I'll get to that after Revolution. Yeah, be back in just a moment with Revolution. And now it's time for Revolution. In Lexington, Kentucky, because I forgot to book another place, but hey, that actually works out. Yay for the auto booker, choosing the best place for once. Anyway, we start with Chuck Palumbo coming out to a big face pop from the crowd, as he says, not last night, but on Nitro, I heard Jeff Jarrett talking a lot of bleep about whether his group was the elite force in professional wrestling, and a lot of crap. Well, I mean, right now, Jeff, to remind you that you weren't the only one who won at Bash at the Beach. I beat Morningstar, and he hasn't been seen since. So, Slapnuts, why don't you come out if you want to face a real challenge? Right here, right now. Bam, 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 chosen one. As crowd boos. And Jerk comes out and says, what, Slapnuts, you think you got a shot at me? The man who took apart the Horsemen piece by piece? Well, if you want a lesson in why I'm going to become world champion once again soon enough, and you're going to be nothing but a power plant failure, come in that ring later tonight in the main event, and I'll take you to school. Palumbo says, I'll be there with bells on. 84, solid little thing, as it's 4 minutes, as we set up our main event for a night of Chuck Palumbo versus Jeff Jarrett. And then we cut backstage as the announcers put over a confrontation is happening, and basically, out of nowhere, Sabu is just getting the crap kicked out of him by the whole of the Roman Legion. Toro, is throwing, insults at him as Sabu, tries to fight against Roman, but eventually he gets tossed into the side of the wall and just gets beat the crap out of before WC officials finally show up and pull the Roman Legion off of Sabu. As the announcers put over that Sabu was scheduled for a match against Jonathan Toro later tonight, but it seems that match will not happen, as this gets a 41. Still undercard stuff putting these guys over. Going to our ring for our opening match. As in our debut, here on television at least, Trisha Sky defeats Amber O'Neil in 451 by pinfall with the move I forgot to change the name. It should be the Sky's the Limit, but I forgot to change the name. As it's to 58, basic semi-squash, Amber O'Neil gets a little bit of offense in, but Trisha's the star here, and she gets the big pinfall victory soon enough. As this gets a 58, Trisha gets a 74, and Amber O'Neil gets a 49. Solid stuff. And after that, we have Trisha Sky doing an in-ring promo, as she says, listen, Lizzy, Lita, what you're calling yourself today, these days. I thought I was done with you. I thought I could move forward here in WCW and move on, but it seems like you're always going to be around wherever I am because you want to prove you're the best, and I keep on proving that you're not the best. So now you've got some more backup. 2 young girls who listen to all the bull crap you put in their ears. Well, send them to me, and I'll beat them, and I'll beat you too. Because I'm in here one reason, and one reason only. Prove I'm the best women's wrestler on the planet, and I know I can do that here only in WCW. And in this company, the sky is the limit for me. So Lizzy, you want to fight? You know where to find me. She walks off, decent little face promo, as this gets a 79. Then we go backstage where Eddy Guerrero is saying, 2 months, I thought about everything that had happened. Losing the world title, losing to a opponent like Gene Noble. But I realized I had to refocus. I had to remind myself why I was world champion, why I was a great wrestler all over the world, why my family name, why I was not ashamed, why I was not ashamed of my family name. And I'm coming back here, right? One reason only, to become world champion once again and prove that Guerrero Fame and Valleys means to do what you need to become the best. So Lance Storm, you're more triumphant, but they better not be involved in our match. Regardless, Holmes, you're going to have a fight on your hands tonight. And I'm going to come out the winner. 1, 2, 3. And there's nothing you can do about it. 85, good promo, as puts over the semi-main event tonight of Eddy Guerrero versus Storm. Then we have our TV title match as Malenko makes the first defense of the title as he defeats Air Paris in 6-12 by submission with a Texas Cloverleaf. Air Paris does his best to do some flying moves and somewhat, but in the end, Malenko is Malenko, and he's able to hit a few quick moves, hit the Gutbuster, hit a quick powerbomb, and lock in Cloverleaf to get the submission win over Air Paris. Solid match, as this gets 61, like I said, Malenko gets a 65, and Air Paris gets a 61. And post-match, Malenko celebrates to a 53. And then we have the same video for Nitro of Prince OC on his private plane. You just heard that me going over that, so just think of that again as it gets a 44 this time around. Then we have our another qualifier for the US title worship match. As in a decent match, AJ Styles defeats Jason Jett, James Storm, and Tink Cullen in 9:44 when AJ Styles pins James Storm with a Styles Clash. Back and forth match, this gets a 65, and also during the match we saw Dawn Marie come out and looks like she's doing some scouting of various wrestlers in the ring. As now she's put over that she has not been seen with somebody by her side since the Jindrax Jack team broke up a few months ago. Decent match, back and forth match, but eventually AJ has Storm. Boom, Styles Clash right in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. AJ gets an 81, Jason Jett gets 64, James Storm gets a 70, and Tank Cullen gets a 59. Fun stuff. And post-match, AJ celebrates, 2 cheers from the crowd as 72, while Dawn Marie stays at ringside. Then, after the commercials, we come back as Booker T comes out the ring to a massive heel pop along with Sideshow Mel, and he comes into the ring with his world title and he says, "Gaze upon me. Gaze upon a 6-time WCW World Champion. Gaze upon the man who defeated Eddy Guerrero for the title. Gaze upon the man who defeated Goldberg, who defeated Rob Van Dam, who has defeated every challenge put in front of him without a question. Because, yes, you may not like what I've been doing for the past couple of months, but look at what it's done, and look what the guidance of my Queen Charmel has done for me. I am undisputably the best wrestler in this business today, and I will hold this championship for as long as I want, because I am Booker T, the world champion, sucker. And there's nobody in this company that can defeat me. Now can you dig that?" 100, really good promo, as Booker T's, just really on a roll. And honestly, I mean, this is honestly, like, I first chose to give Booker T, as he was, like, sort of the guy who was sort of lost in the shuffle, so I figured him getting the big win over Eddy would really, like, move forward, and he has been absolutely awesome. Then we come back from commercial, and Ken Anderson defeats Sean Stasiak in 407 by pinfall. Okay, that is not his finisher name. He hits his forward wall power slam thing and gets the victory. A little back and forth match, but Anderson gets the big win as this gets a 53, Anderson gets a 51, and Sean Stasiak gets a 58. And post-match, Anderson celebrates to a 61, and cheers the crowd as they get behind this new wrestler here in WCW. Then we go backstage where both Jason Jett and Paul London almost run into each other, going to Eric Bischoff's office, and Eric's like, yeah, what do you guys want? Tag match? Like, you guys aren't, like, you've been losing you've lost tag matches a whole bunch of times, so I don't think you guys want that, so what do you guys want? And they will say at once, we want Skipper. And Bischoff says, interesting. Guess what he said got to you? And Glenn's like, of course it did. Like, he's just straight up deluded. Just says, no, I just want to prove I should be cruiserweight champion once again. Well, this is interesting. How about this? Next week, right here on Revolution, Jason Jet, Paul London, and whichever wins the match gets a shot at Skipper. They stare at each other, there's a handshake, and it's a tense handshake, but then they walk away. This gets a 63 and a match set up for the next Revolution of Jet versus London. Then we go backstage where Jeremy Borash is with Gail Kim, and Gail Kim still has the Women's World Championship, and Gail Kim says, I proved at Bash at the Beach why I'm the Women's World Champion, and I'm ready to face any challenge, because I'm still the head bitch in charge here in WCW. It doesn't matter who comes here, from wherever they come from. They have to prove, they have to prove to everybody that they deserve a shot at me. Because all those titles they may have won other places, we know how much they really need, and how some of them will really won. You've seen it on TV. But I've won this in the ring by beating people in professional wrestling matches. So, no matter how pretty you are, no matter how big a star you may be, you're still going to eat defeat. And Kim walks away, 76, solid, strong babyface promo. And then we move forward. As in our semi-main event, Eddy Guerrero defeats Lance Storm in 12th round by pinfall the Frog Splash. Eddie gets an 83, Lance Storm gets an 85. Eddie was off his game, unfortunately. As it gets an 81. So, back and forth match. Storm does a super kick against technical stuff, goes for human maple leaf. Eddie gets out of it. Eddie eventually goes to do some brawling, hits the Three Amigos, but doesn't quite. He misses the Frog Splash. Lance Storm fights back. Near fall from super kick, goes for the maple leaf once again, gets sent into the corner, kick, wham, brainbuster up top, Frog Splash 1, 2, 3. And of course, this doesn't have storyline, but this gets an 81. And afterwards, Eddy Guerrero is celebrating when out of nowhere, like Awesome! And Awesome just attacks Eddie from behind, kicks him, powerbomb right to the outside, as the crowd boos as Mike Awesome is back after a month away here in WCW. As this gets an 82, and he is looking to make an impact. And now, right, okay. Then, Jeremy Borash is backstage when he's sort of not really assaulted, but sort of confronted by Keaton Sharp. And Borash is like, hey, what do you want? And he's like, Borash, the sheep lead the sheep in circles. And Borash looks at him, he says, look, I admit I had to submit only because the bias rules of the match allowed Tajiri to wrap me up in the ropes. Any man would have submitted in that situation. And I do not deny I am just a man, but I am a leader of men. So, I am going to redoubt and refocus myself on leading people on the path they should. So, Tajiri, enjoy your Night Champion for now, but I am on to bigger and more glorious things. And Borash shrugs his shirt, walks away, all full of himself as this gets 71, and now it's time for our main event. As an exceptional match, Jeff Jarrett defeats Chuck Palumbo in 1622 by pinfall, with the stroke following interference from Mark Indrak. This gets an 87. So again, back and forth match. Jarrett, Palumbo, and Jarrett. I mean, this is basically either just these two fighting, doing a Southern style brawl. Palumbo getting some huge power moves. Jarrett trying to lock in the figure four, but Palumbo fighting out of it. Eventually, things there's a rough bump. Mark Jindrak gets involved. Actually, what happens basically, Jindrak comes in the ring. That allows Palumbo to hit the full throttle on Jindrak. Jarrett rolls out. Palumbo turns around, right into the stroke. Ref recovers. 1, 2, 3. Big victory for Jeff Jarrett here in the main event of Revolution. As then, Chuck Palumbo gets an 84. Jeff Jarrett gets an 87. Really good match. And then post-match, of course, all three members of the chosen few go for the beatdown on our friend, Chuck Palumbo. And the crowd is booing as Natural's put over that, Sean O'Hare is not here, is not back in backstage tonight as he's still recovering from his match versus Macias. Where there's a huge crowd pop as he comes out to make the save, but Rob Van Dam comes down, clears the ring with a chair, and stares down Jarrett and the rest of the chosen few as the show ends to a babyface pop as this gets a 95. And overall, the show itself gets an 89. So really good show. Honestly, I mean, sort of I don't say a miss show, but sort of again, I really have to get the mid-card over before the before the end of the year because I'm doing the split. So we need the main events to really stay over, but also the mid card to be there to get everything else. Any interesting news? Nope. Okay. So I'll be back in just a second. Well, you guys won't see it, but we'll go over the news of the week in just a moment here. All right, let's just go over things real quick as far as the news of the week. So, the other companies. First, WWE. Let's go what they did for SmackDown. So, for SmackDown, they did Undertaker defeating Ron Ronnerman in a job match. Edge defeating Mick Dinsmore, also in a job match. Vampiro, Chris Benoit, and Christian. Okay, that's a team. Defeated Randy Orton and Bump and Grind in 84. Kevin Nash and Steve Austin had a confrontation. Teddy Long had a backstage segment to book a tag team match player. Roland Ruger defeating Scott Steiner, out for Steiner. Kurt Angle defeating Steven Richards in 100. Okay, sure. Steve Austin defeated Nash in 86. And in the main event, Shawn Michaels and Big Show teamed up to defeat Triple H and Chris Jericho in a 99. Fun times. Okay, so go to the first two R stuff. I believe, yes, I showed you guys that. All right, so first from the TV show, JC Daz and Claudio Castagnoli defeated Sonny Siaki and Dagan Briggs on the undercard in a 45. Tony Jones and Adam Ortiz defeated the Cole Brothers in a 41. Shannon Ballard, Militech, and Rick Michaels defeated Chance Profit and Trevor Rhodes and Stoneman in a 48. Rothschild defeated Matt Cross in a 41. And in our main event, Jason Cross and Chris Rambola defeated Jimmy Rave and Cassie O'Reilly in a 66. And then in the Weekly House show, we had Dagan Briggs and Ringman defeating Matt Cross and Bobby Lashley in a 40. Kendo Suzuki getting a win defeating Riding Dragon in a 42. Sonny Siaki defeating Claudio in a 55. Yes, Claudio is on the main show. Tony Jones and Kai Graves defeated the Cole Brothers. And then Chris Rambola, Militech, and Rick Michaels defeating Chad Profit, Trevor Rogan, and Storm Mountain in a 56. Travis Tomko gets a big win defeating Emma Ortiz in a 45. Jim Raven, Cassie O'Reilly defeated Shannon Ballard and Lazarus in a 61. And Kill Switch defeated Keith Walker in a 66. Fun times. So, and yeah, I think I told you guys basically what I did for the WWE is I brought up Punk and Shelton Benjamin up to the main roster. Unfortunately, like, they aren't super over yet. So, where are they? Yeah, as you can see, way down there. Unfortunately, yeah, Punk. Yeah, Punk is, but he'll get there with my help, of course. And Shelton is even farther down, unfortunately. So, yeah. But, yeah, they're their projects. Hopefully, the booker will book them okay. Anyway, so that means for OVW. For their weekly loop, we had Miss Natural defeat Sarah Stock, Chrissy Ritchie defeat Riptide in. Oh, wait. Hold on, let me first go to my women's death fed and show you the last weekly show included Beth Phoenix defeating Mischief, 99 and Keep Rock Sprawling. Let's see here. Tony Joan and Monty Maxon having interviews. Vanessa Harding and Madison Sinclair defeat Tracy Brooks and Ariel in a 45. Bonnie Max and Meg Women defeat Tony Joan and Pink Girls in a 48. And Lake Hall Socket defeated Allison Angel by DQ in a 57. And cheerleader Melissa defeated Kim Nielsen, aka Desire, for the title in a 56. So fun times and a big win for cheerleader Melissa. And then if we go back to OVW. So first for Weekly Loop, like I said, Mitch Page defeated Shelley Bossy in a 48. Lizzie Borden defeated Jamie Keys in a 51. Leo Constantino defeated Charlie Haas in a 54. Homicide and Spanky defeated Lance Cade and Christian New York for the tag team titles in a 64. And Justice defeated CM Punk for the OVW title at 171. So Abyss versus CM Punk was a big OVW match in this reality. And then on Saturday, we had Joey Matthews defeated Eric Engel, Miss Natural defeating Sarah Stock, Hai Zhang defeated Chet Blonsky, Joey Ryan defeated Charlie Haas over from HWA, Lizzie Borden defeated Jamie Keys, Homicide defeated CM Punk in his goodbye match, and Justice defeated Trent Baker in a 60. And then HWA to close things out. We had Cyber Squad defeated Skinhead Ivan and Alex Shelley, Jimmy Jacobs and Capitello and Sharkboy defeated Annie Douglas and Club Deluxe, Scott Vick defeated Corey Castle, Excalibur defeated Matt Bentley, Ecmo Batu and Joel Grunt defeated the Outlaws, who are DJ Whitman or Tony Maluk, and Danny Gordon defeated Matt Striker to retain the HWA Heavyweight title. So fun stuff. Let's see here. I think that was it. Let me see. Was there any other matches? Let's see here. Any other results that you guys would be interested in? see here. Survey says, OVW House Show, Bash at the Beach, OVW. Yeah, no, nothing of interest really to you guys. So again, as you go to the storylines, Beautiful Violence is at a 69. Booker is at a 91. The Jeff Jarrett and RVD is at a 90. The tag title is at an 81. The Skipper Jet London feud is at a 58. And the new tag team feud is at a 85. Fun times. So yeah, solid stuff. We're now on the road to our next pay-per-view, which I didn't say it officially because like our international tour starts in a couple weeks. So the next show will be in England. It'll be called British Assault, mainly because that was a logo I could find that worked out well. And it's going to be from London, England. So a big show in London as WCW finally goes international after just touring the US for basically the whole entirety of the game. And main reason is if you look at our size, we are actually stupidly over in Britain. Like, just stupidly over. And we're also quite over in Western Europe and Central Europe as well. So we'll do a quick little European tour, and then we'll have the pay-per-view, and then that'll be it. But like nothing officially announced so far, as we're 1 week in. But that's it for now. If you enjoyed the show, go ahead and give a like, comment below, and subscribe to our channel for lots of other TEW 2020 content, including this series and hopefully other series soon. And of course, one more plug for the mid-year awards. Go ahead and vote for them for who you want. Again, I just want to see what people are enjoying or not enjoying. But that's it for now. So talk to you later, and adios. Have a good one.